Back here again one more time for the night after a good matchup between the Iowa State Cyclones and the Texas Longhorns to finish out the night. 68-64, close one right down to the end. Lindell Wigginton and Cam Lard, the two freshmen, did all they could to try to pull this one out, but their season now ends as they will not head to the NCAA tournament, and it is over for them. But what do you have to say to finish out their season and two freshmen that are obviously rising stars in this league?
Exactly. A tough season for Iowa State, dealt with injuries all year that really hampered them, even coming into this game, missing two key starters for them. But had to see a lot they love from Wigginton and Cam Lard. I thought really grew leaps and bounds over the season. They bring back all those guys. They get healthy going into next year. It's a team that suddenly will have a chance to compete in the Big 12. I thought those guys played well tonight. Wigginton did turn it over 9 times, and of course that was a tough set of circumstances for him in this group. In a game you lose by 4 points, but a lot of respect to their fans and appreciation. There's a lot of joking and talking, like how will their crowd come out when they're the 10 seed and could be looking at a one and done, and they were great. So Iowa State does a great job representing this tournament, and no difference tonight.
And how about Texas doing it without Mo Bamba? And that's just huge for a team that has been centered around that guy throughout the season. And to come in first game of this season, Iowa State obviously puts the pedal to the metal, tries to pull this one out. But Texas gets it done through, at the end, Jericho Sims, Matt Coleman, and then throughout the game, Dylan Ostenkowski had a great game, hitting great shots and pulling out of a slump because he started off the game rough.
Yeah, I thought those were the guys. You just mentioned them, and they've played okay without Mo Bamba this year. I mean, he's a great player, a future lottery pick, and means a lot to that program, but they've been okay without him. Jericho Sims tonight, 4-6 from the floor for 8 points, in with 15 rebounds. He was huge. Ozetkowski took 18 shots to get 20 points, but he hit a lot of key shots for them tonight. You mentioned Matt Coleman. Huge win for Texas. One I don't know if they had to have it or not, but they really needed it, and it was because of those guys you mentioned. They got out of here with a win tonight.
Yeah, this definitely helps their case to get into the NCAA tournament come Selection Sunday. But now they look at a team in the Texas Tech Red Raiders. That's a tough matchup for tomorrow. What do you have to say about that one?
It sure is. You and I both have picked Texas Tech to win this tournament. They were probably the best team in the league this year when healthy, and they're close to healthy now. So I would expect Texas Tech to get it done against Texas, but it's a great opportunity for Texas. They're probably in the field, but a chance to knock off a Red Raider team that's got a great RPI and is seen as a very strong opponent. It's a great chance for them to move on, but I think the Red Raiders are set to make a statement in this tournament about where they were in the league this year.
Before we get to all the games tomorrow, let's look back at Oklahoma and Oklahoma State at that game. Is Oklahoma safe in the tournament, would you say?
Man, thank you for asking. No, and if you guys have been watching these videos or listening to our podcasts all year, I'm a hypocrite right now, but I don't know that they're safe. They have not been a good basketball team for the last 2 months, maybe a month and a half. I think that does get looked at some. They played a great non-conference schedule, and they have some really strong computer metrics, but they're not a good basketball team right now. I don't know how, if you're looking at, say, Oklahoma State and Oklahoma, how you'd pick the Sooners over the Cowboys. I know the committee tries not to go head-to-head and look at things that way, but I don't know. I mean, it's a coin flip whether they're in or not, but safe, I have to go eat my words and say I don't think they are safe right now.
Since we're talking about Oklahoma State as well, let's talk about their matchup tomorrow. Do they need this one against the Kansas Jayhawks to get themselves into the NCAA?
They probably do, but again, that depends. Like I just said, I'd probably take Oklahoma State over Oklahoma right now, but they probably do. RPI was 85 coming into tonight. The win over Oklahoma probably helped it a little bit. And not that the RPI is the end-all, be-all, or it should be, but you've never seen a team. I want to say the lowest RPI ever to make the field as an at-large was like 68. So they probably need to beat Kansas, the Big 12 champion, for a third time to have a chance. And some would argue that's not going to be enough. But we'll wait and see. It should be a heck of a matchup taking on Kansas with, of course, no Azubuike tomorrow will be a big storyline here in Kansas City.
Exactly. The Cowboys able to do it during the regular season with Azubuike on the floor, so that'll be a fun one to watch. Start with the first game of the tournament for tomorrow. 11:30 tip for K-State and TCU. Big matchup for the Wildcats and the Horned Frogs. What do you see in this one?
It really is. I think both of those teams should think they have an excellent shot to win this tournament. They're going to get – whoever wins that game in the second round is going to get either a Kansas team without Azubuike or an Oklahoma State team that's now played 2 games in 2 days. I think it's going to be an excellent matchup. 2 of the best teams in the league all year long. I think they're very evenly matched. I think K-State has been slightly better than TCU this year in the 2 games they've played. If you really look at it, K-State handled TCU. Even though the game got close late, but they handled them in Bramlage, were never in trouble in that game. On the flip side of the game in Fort Worth, K-State led with 3 minutes left. So that's just one way to look at it. Of course, the games were very even from a score perspective. TCU is going to be a great challenge for K-State tomorrow. They're a wonderful three-point shooting team. That's going to be the focus for K-State, but I do think K-State will get it done. I think they're a slightly better team, and I think they have a little bit more of a chip on their shoulder, perhaps, with some people still talking about the bubble. TCU's not hearing that. K-State is a little bit, and of course the Wildcats would love a shot at Kansas again.
So the order goes K-State, TCU, then you have Kansas and Oklahoma State, Texas Tech and Texas, and the last game we have to talk about, the night game, West Virginia and Baylor. Big game. Baylor's still on the edge, whether they're safe or not in the NCAA. So what do you see for that game?
Another team that you could, that's a great point, that you can go read two different sites, and one will tell you that Baylor's in, one won't even have them on the bubbles being a consideration of being in. So a much-needed win for Baylor. That'll be a physical matchup. Baylor's always got a lot of length and can slow the game down with the zone they play, and West Virginia's going to, Press Virginia's going to get out here and get all over Baylor. So that'll be maybe the most physical game of the day, but much more important for Baylor. And I tend to think Baylor might get that one. I think Baylor's played well over the last month of the season. Not that West Virginia hasn't, but I would lean slightly towards the Bears in that one.
Well, and West Virginia has shown their struggles late in games throughout the season. But that's going to finish it out. Stay tuned for tomorrow. Full day of coverage from the Big 12 tournament. Matt Hall, Grant Flanders. Thank you.